If the government of Kerala has its way, then this may be one of the last weekends that people in the state can freely enjoy their drinks. Kerala, which has the highest per capita consumption of alcohol in India, has announced a sudden clampdown on the availability of liquor with an aim to be booze-free in 10 years. Prohibition hasn't worked anywhere in the country, wherever it has been implemented over the last several decades. But Uman Chandy believes he's on to a winning formula.
Will God's own country have the same allure to the world if it goes completely dry? One of India's tourism hotspots could be stripped of its alcohol over the next 10 years. For a state with the highest per capita consumption of liquor in India, this proposition has thousands in the tourism business wondering not just about where they will get their next fix from, but what they will serve thirsty guests. Chief Minister Uman Chandy said his state will now restrict liquor bars to 5-star hotels, and the state's 400-odd retail liquor stores that serve a population of around 3 crores will be bought down by 10% every year, striding towards a liquor-free Kerala. If that sounds bad, the government also plans to make every Sunday a dry day from next April. As a first step, 418 bars have been closed since April 1st this year, as they have failed to upgrade to 2-star facilities and won't have their licenses renewed. Similarly, licenses of 312 functioning bars in the state will not be renewed after March 31st, 2015. From April 1st, 2015, only 5-star hotels will be granted bar licenses.
We can deny eligible bar owners only on a policy decision. We cannot pick and choose. If the 312 bars are functioning, at the same time we are denying 408 bars their license. That is a discrimination. That may question in the court of law.
The question is, can Kerala survive such a change? Culturally, financially, and most important, the inevitable rise of a criminal liquor syndicate.
It's an idea that's been tried in Haryana, Andhra Pradesh, the northeastern states. It's flopped and failed everywhere. Gujarat, in fact, has the most efficient home delivery systems for alcohol to be provided to people at their own home. Why in the world then is Kerala going out and attempting to do what clearly cannot be done, something that is highly regressive, not with the times, and reeks of desperate political opportunism by the ruling UDF government? Joining us on the program today, 4 proud Malayalis. I want to begin by introducing first Shobha Oza from the Congress party. Taking her on will be image consultant, a very outraged Dilip Cherian. Welcome also to Captain Gopinath joining us from Bangalore. I hope he's got his glass with him to raise a toast just to spite what the Kerala government is trying to do. And also Rahul Ishwar, author and activist. Welcome to all of you. I want to go across first and foremost to Shobha Oza from the Congress party. This is, ma'am, a disastrous idea. It's been tried globally. It's been attempted in India. It's flopped each and every time. Why then would your government try and implement an idea that simply cannot succeed, a regressive idea, and one that makes people wonder whether God's own country is now running dry?
In fact, Rahul, we should all be welcoming this great step that has been taken by the Kerala government, because you know the plight of women in Kerala. This has the addiction to liquor has spoiled, literally ruined the life of the women in Kerala. Do you know the type of consumption of liquor which is in Delhi, in Kerala, is nearly 3% above the national average. It is around 18.5 liters per capita, and that clearly shows the type of life the women of this God's own country are leading. Their lives have been ruined, and it's the women which is the worst affected class of alcoholism. And I appreciate the Kerala government for taking forward.
You're making the case, and I don't want to enter the debate as a participant myself, so I will put that question to Dilip Cherian, that the level of alcoholism in Kerala and the state's per capita consumption is much higher than the national average at 8.5 litres. The national average is only 5.7 litres. So the amount of per capita alcohol being consumed in Kerala is the highest in the country. And Shobha Oza says it's the women in Kerala who have to suffer the men getting drunk. And therefore, by this move, the government is reaching out to these women and ensuring that their men don't get drunk. Dilip Cherian.
You know, my heart bleeds for the women who Shobha Oza is worrying about. But the fact is that this is a state which also depends for 1/3 of its total state revenues on income from liquor. And if you add on top of that and patch on the income from tourism, it's a huge volume of revenue they're talking about. As a teetotaler myself, I, however, think it's worth defending the rights of those who want to drink. And the fact is that globally, it is recognized that alcohol prohibition does not work effectively. This is one thing we can't say that Modi has succeeded even with his government of 13 years in Gujarat. So here is a prime example of a Congress government which is falling prey to the pushing of, I think, the clerics of two kinds. And the fact is that this is clearly a regressive move, and this is something that simply isn't going to work.
Shobha Oza, have you even thought this through? Liquor sales give 6,000 crores to the state exchequer of Kerala every year. Closure of bars will result in an annual loss of at least 2,500 crores at a time when revenues are already in short supply. How will the Kerala government manage its budget? Not just is this a regressive idea, it's also financially suicidal and could send tourists away in droves from God's own country.
Rahul, if liquor has to be promoted just for the revenue's sake, I really pity. Can't we look, isn't it high time that we look for some other sources of revenue for running the governments? Do we need to depend only on liquor for revenue? And the type of alcoholism we have in Kerala, you know, it has its own health hazards too. And you know, the Malayalis,
the solution to alcoholism is not to ban alcohol. The solution to alcoholism is to ensure that you've got good de-addiction centers, that you've got doctors stepping in, that the state step up its infrastructure. Dilip Cherian wants to counter what you've just said. Dilip.
But you know, stick to the point of revenues. The other big revenue driver of Kerala at the moment, which is NRI remittances, is also under threat. So this is a time when the Kerala government, for pure fiscal prudence reasons, can simply not afford to jeopardize both tourism as well as excise revenue. It's a hazardous thing, and the government has clearly not thought it through. It's under pressure, and the first thing that's going to be a victim, even worse than the women of Kerala, whose plight because of the men getting drunk or whatever
Rahul
it is going to be the
Ishwar,
budget.
Shobha Oza says, welcome the decision of the Kerala government. Why should we welcome it? If you don't drink, by all means you have the right to choose not to drink. If Captain Gopinath enjoys his drink, as I'm sure do several other people who are watching this broadcast, they equally have the right to decide that they wish to enjoy a couple of glasses of whatever is their favorite triple in the evening. Why should God or the state government try and deny them that right? Rahul.
Absolutely. Rahul Kawalji, 3 points. One, it is not a puritanistical point of view, but it is a well thought out principled position, and it is a practical one too. Let us look at the realities. 55 to 65% of crime in Kerala is catalyzed by alcohol. Almost, as you rightly said, 8.5 liter per capita consumption is there. At the first consumption stage is as low as 12 or 13. We are having health hazards. We are giving them poison first, then telling that you have to go and treat. Let us be very clear about this. We are having a ABC policy. It's awareness, it is banning and consensus towards approach towards society. It's a huge victory, like Shobhaji said, for the Congress government. I am not a Congress person, but Congress government has really done good. Our CM Umman Chandi.
Now, I want to challenge what you're saying, Rahul Ishwar, because you're suggesting that 60% of crime is as a consequence of alcoholism. I am astounded by that statistic, and I'd like you to explain where you get this figure of 60% from. How can you claim that 60% of crime is attributed to alcoholism? That absolutely makes no sense.
It is not a discovery of mine. It is a result that is published in The Economist, one of the most internationally reputed magazine. And many social observers, psychologists have been pointing out the fact.
One second. What is The Economist saying? That 60% of crime in Kerala is because of alcoholism? Is that the point that you're making, Rahul? Because I want to pin you down.
No.
Are you suggesting that economists suggest that 60% of crime in Kerala is because of alcoholism?
Rahul, let me...
Just 1 second. I want to press this issue.
Rahul,
One second, Shobha.
I had a very conscious word regarding that. 55 to 65% of crime in Kerala has been catalyzed by alcohol. This is an observation by many serious and senior sociologists, many doctors.
1 second.
And
You first suggested it was The Economist, now you've changed it to sociologists. Rahul Ishwar, make up your mind. What is it? 1 second, Rahul. Make up your mind first. Is it renowned global magazine Economist which suggests 55 to 65% of crime is from alcohol? Because you've just shifted the goalpost and said renowned sociologists say it's because of alcohol. Make up your mind first.
No, Economist in an article title, you can Google, Rum in God's Own Country, has been quoting various sociologists and doctors, has been publishing this fact. And this has also been a study of many other people too. That's the reason why I don't want to quote some single source. Economist has quoted it, and many other sources in Kerala has also quoted it. And please understand, government has a right and responsibility to uphold social, physical and psychological health of millions of people, and we cannot compromise it in the altars of a so-called liberalism saying that I am alcohol, and alcohol consumption by any way.
Now, one second, Rahul Ishwar, I think you're tying yourself up in knots here. You first said that there is a study in The Economist which says that 60% of all crime is because of alcohol. That suddenly has become the opinion of a bunch of sociologists. There is no evidence whether it's 60%, 0.6% or 6%. We don't know that. Captain Gopinath, everyone's been taken for a ride over here. You're making it seem as if alcoholism is the biggest problem and people are being denied a basic right. Captain Gopinath.
I think this is arbitrary, illogical, unconstitutional, and I think it is also hypocritical, self-righteous, sanctimonious arrogance. I don't think they have any right to decide on the right to drink for others. This is absolutely the wrong way of going about it. This is almost like a Talibanization of Kerala, such a lovely, beautiful country. Even if they could enforce it, firstly they will never be able to enforce it, because there will be illicit liquor, there will be black liquor, people will come to neighboring states and smuggle it in. And it also is such a bizarre thing that you are allowing it in 5-star hotels, but not for middle class and the lower middle class people, so they'll get into illicit liquor. Toddy tapping has been as old as Kerala, as old as the coconut trees there. Firstly they have put them out of business, and then all this excise, all of us know, all over India is full of corruption, is nothing but a way to make money. Black marketing will thrive.
Those are very important points that you make.
Once said,
those are very important points, and Shobha
Oza
must respond. You allow rich people to drink, but you don't want poor people to drink. That simply makes no sense. And secondly, what you do is you push people towards the black market, towards illicit alcohol. In Gujarat, you can order any brand of alcohol that you want at any time of the day or night, and it gets delivered at home. If Modi couldn't succeed in imposing prohibition in Gujarat, Shobha Oza, what chance does Umman Chandi have?
See, Rahul, if you look at the statistics, Kerala has the maximum number of suicide cases, and the doctors there and the like, this is a fact. Today I read in Hindustan Times or Indian Express, I don't know which paper, and people attribute alcoholism as one of the major reasons behind suicides, and the health hazard is an issue, and the plight of women is another issue. So one has to take care of any issue in totality. Just revenue or just by saying that it will encourage black marketing, we cannot do away with this problem of alcoholism in Kerala. In fact,
no, but you're not answering the question.
Kerala
the fact that prohibition anywhere in the world hasn't succeeded. It hasn't succeeded in Gujarat, and it will not succeed in Kerala. It doesn't work.
Rahul, how can you say
even
that
if it succeeds, I think it is ill-advised.
Rahul, how can you say that before anything takes off? Let Kerala government try and see.
The argument, Captain Gopinath, that Shobha Oza makes is, don't look at it only from the perspective of revenue. She says that there is a social and health dimension also that equally needs to be considered. Captain Gopinath.
But who are they to dictate this to others? I mean, they should have had a referendum. They should have put it in the manifesto before the elections. This is, taking law into their own hands, and, it's totally ill-conceived, ill-advised, and I think downright rubbish, all those statistics they are quoting, even if they are right, even if they can enforce it. You have to be like a Taliban then, you have to put people in prison.
And what Rahul Ishwar must also be considered is that Kerala's tourism revenue is 22,926 crores. Out of this, foreign exchange is 4,571 crores. Now, a lot of people will be very unhappy with the fact that they get to come on a holiday and don't get to consume any alcohol. So you are sending tourists away possibly. You are cutting down on revenue. Tell me, where will the extra revenue come from? What's the plan?
2 points.
Rahul Ishwar.
If you want... 2 points. 2 points. To quote the exact source earlier I have taken, so you can ask. The second point, please understand there is a broader principle behind it. We cannot be like some southeastern nations who will promote sex tourism just for revenue. We are a principled nation. We have a sabhyata, we have a samskar, we have a culture of our own land. We cannot compromise.
I think that we need to hold our horses.
Sabhyata you're talking about, Dilip Cherian. All the texts have a lot of references to alcohol.
Social health.
No, all the ancient texts have several references to alcohol. Dilip Cherian.
If the happy dream of Woman Chandi comes true, which it will not, because he's given himself 10 years to do it, by which time the happy people of Kerala will have flung him out of power. But the fact is that the vision that he has clearly is that a healthier Kerala, a happier women, happier men who are non-suicidal, and definitely non-criminal. Meaning, is he living in some cuckoo land? The fact is that you cannot enforce it in a tiny state which is surrounded by states on all other sides which are not definitely dry. And the other fact is that it will become like a police state if he tries to do this. Though Gujarat tried and has a more effective policing system, it was simply not capable of doing it. But the more important reason is that Kerala has always had an open culture. It's a culture of openness. As Captain Gopinath said,
Gopinath wants to build on that. Captain Gopinath.
As the coconut tree.
Yeah.
No, it's been very traditional.
Rahul,
yes,
what I want to say is that we all know that these people who are bringing in these rules and regulations, they are themselves hypocritical. All of them drink. All of them, will drink behind the scene. They will not drink in front of the TV or in public functions. Every one of these political ministers, at least most that we know, they drink, they're being hypocritical, they want to impose it on others and get away with it themselves, and I think it is the most bizarre that you allow it in a 5-star hotel and not in the...
No, but Shobha Oza, Captain Gopinath made an important point when he asked, why did Woman Chandi not check with the people whether or not they wanted prohibition? This wasn't part of your manifesto for the current Lok Sabha election, neither was it part of your manifesto for the previous assembly election. You should have checked whether people in the state support this idea or not. Your government is under pressure, the Congress nationally is losing ground, the Woman Chandi government is on a weak footing. Therefore, you try and do what you believe is a populist step without checking with anyone, Shobha.
No, Rahul, you are yourself saying that it is a popularistic step. So now you are
What you
admitting
believe
that
is a
people are
popular
going to be
step. I
happy
don't
by the
believe it's a
ban.
popular step. I believe it's a regressive
No,
idea.
you
But
said that
clearly,
it is a
a
populistic
besieged government
step.
believes
So-
it's a popular step.
so let's
Why not
accept
check? I'm
it.
sorry, Shobha, that's not the
Rahul,
answer to my
let's
question. My
accept
question
it.
was, why
It is
not
a
check with the
positive-
people
it is
through a
positive
referendum
step
or through the
ahead.
manifesto
It
whether
is-
or not
it
they
is-
want this?
Rahul, if the people of Kerala do not like it,
defines
they have
what
a
is
right to
progressive?
reject the government in the coming elections. Because now
That's exactly what's going to
Oommen
happen.
Chandy has promised a total ban
Exactly.
in 10 years' time. It is going to be one step at a time. So if the people do not approve of it, Oommen Chandy has the courage to face it. So what is
You know what
the
happened,
big
Dilip Cherry in
you and
Andhra
cry about it?
Pradesh, is that there was prohibition which was installed under N.T. Ramarao in 1994. After there was an anti-liquor movement in Kerala, mind you, there's been no significant or prominent anti-liquor movement. But in 1997, NTR's successor, Chandrababu Naidu, revoked the prohibition, saying it wasn't successful or feasible because of leakages within the state and from across the borders. Do you believe that if there is an election, the new government, if it's not a Congress government of course, will have the courage to revoke it? Do you believe a populist political step once taken is very difficult to revoke? Dilip.
You know,
Rahul
the
Gandhi, this
the
is
fact
not
is
being
that,
populist.
you know,
This is a
this
popular
this
decision.
kind of
And who
competitive
defines what is
populism
How do you
is
decide
what
what
is
is popular
destroying
or
the nation.
populist, Rahul?
And
It
let
was
me
never
assure
in the
you one
Congress
thing.
manifesto.
All
How can you sit in
community-
judgment and say
all
it's a populist step?
community,
What about those
whether they
who
are
don't
Hindu,
think it's
Muslim or
okay?
Christian, all political parties are for this. Kerala is almost united in an unanimous voice supporting the
Yeah, because
Congress
nobody
government
publicly
through
wants to
going forward
say
with it. It's a
that they
great
drink
step forward
alcohol
and
or
you will see
support
themselves in coming
what
years.
would be
We will
perceived
set
to
a
be
benchmark
alcoholism.
for
That's
India
the
to follow.
problem. That's the point that Captain Gopinath makes, that everyone is hypocritical. Most of the politicians who stand and preach from the pulpit saying there mustn't be consumption of alcohol, Dilip Cherian are the ones who are drinking the most or drinking as much as everyone else.
Rahul, most of them drink.
This ban is for everyone.
They are committing a
And
fraud on
the
the
plight
people of
of
Kerala.
Yeah, the politician will find
will
a way
encourage
of getting
corruption.
around the ban. It's the poor farmer
This
who will
will
be
encourage
pushed
corruption.
towards illicit alcohol. That's the problem. Quick final words,
That's
Captain
right.
Gopinath.
Exactly.
I think they are committing a fraud on the people of Kerala. It is one of the most beautiful, most glorious states of our land, and they are not only killing the golden goose. I'm not just talking about liquor, the whole ecosystem of the Kerala tourism department, but I think it is also a big fraud. They're all hypocritical.
Rahul
And we know
Ishwar,
even in
quick
Karnataka,
final
for
words.
example, there are a lot of seconds that are being sold.
Rahul Ishwar, quick final words, please.
We have an awareness program supplementing the ban, and it will go. Quick point, we have an awareness program supplementing the ban, and the whole Kerala right now, 99% is united. We are supporting the government. All spiritual
That's like the
groups are coming
60%
together.
of the
Gandhians are there.
study done by
social
The
groups are there.
Economist, which
It's
turned out to
great
be a
movement,
bogus
and we
study.
will set an example for India to follow.
Dilip Cherian, I'll let you have the
I
last
think they
word.
must be sent to Afghanistan. All
You
of
know,
them.
my
I have the
take
report
is that
with me.
this
If
is
you want,
not
I'll
going
text
to
it
be
to you.
successful. He's going to be
I have the report
he's
with me.
going
If
to
you
be
want, I can
trounced
send it to
out
you.
if he tries to persist. And the fact is that this is a move which is made up of some kind of pressure that he is under, which we are not able to see at the moment. And the fact is that when that is revealed, all of this will collapse like a quick house of cards. Kerala without alcohol, even though, as I said, I'm a teetotaler, is not conceivable, because it's a fundamental right of the people there. And aside from Punjab, I think Kerala is
They should challenge it to the
the state
Constitution.
with the most enthusiasm about drinking.
It's not about whether you drink or not. It's about whether you have the right to drink or not. And I think that right needs to be preserved and maintained. And the way to deal with alcoholism is not through prohibition. This is a regressive idea that hasn't worked anywhere in the world and is not going to work in Kerala, regardless of what Rahul Ishwar and Shobha Oza say on our program tonight. It's unfortunate that the Congress UDF government in Kerala is giving in to populist impulses in the hope that this will help salvage the situation for them in the elections. We leave it to the wisdom of the people of Kerala to decide whether or not they want to vote back a government that has pushed for prohibition. For the time being, it's a Friday night. I don't know how many people have a plan to go out tonight and get a drink. But Dilip Cherian, Captain Gopinath, Rahul Ishwar is most definitely not drinking, I think. And also to Shobha Oza for joining us on our broadcast. Thank you very much. Drink or don't, the choice is yours. But the choice must be yours and not that of the government to make. We slip into a break. News and updates continue when we come back on the other side.